But we begin tonight with a public appeal for missing British backpacker Grace Millane.
In daily contact with either mother, myself, her two brothers.
Anybody who has seen Grace, please come forward and tell us.
On behalf of New Zealand, your daughter should have been safe here, and she wasn't, and I'm sorry for that.
Is the man a calm and calculated killer, or a young man who panicked after a sex act went wrong?
Did you kill Grace?
A lot of people do online dating when they travel in. That's how a lot of people meet nowadays. And it can be a quick way to find someone that you maybe have some interest with. You know, you can quickly talk to them and have a phone call, ever say, I'm travelling here, could you show me around here? Yeah, I'm sure for Grace, that was definitely a comforting thing.
It was just after lunchtime. I'd walked down into the crime squad office, the floor below where my office is, and I was talking to their detective senior sergeant, and she actually said, got a missing person complaint come in. The missing person complaints themselves are not unusual. Maybe she's gone on a trip somewhere, gone out to one of the small islands out off Auckland, is out of phone contact, and we're going to find her. The fact that on her birthday, she hadn't contacted her family, and the family had not been able to contact her. That was a huge red flag. There are obviously people at the backpackers who realised she was missing, were concerned. I actually got off the bus down the bottom of the city. I see some missing person posters already on lampposts. Time was the essence. We needed to get onto this.
Grace hasn't been seen or heard from since Saturday evening in Auckland. Do you suspect foul play?
The longer this goes on, the more concern there is. I have worked on missing overseas tourist investigations previously. I knew just how much the international media would grip this up. We'd found on Grace's Facebook page, the last person to comment was from a Jessie Shane. Now, we didn't know who that was. One of the staff Facebook messaged Jessie Shane. Then he gave his real name, which was Jesse Kempson. The next day, he contacts the police.
So today's date is, it's Thursday the 6th of December. The time is 3:26. Okay, so here's the microphone here. Okay. Right. Tell us about Grace. Just written down your details. Yep. You were spoken to by Detective Hames and Detective Jordan.
Yeah.
That's in relation to a young lady, Grace Millane.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
And that's her there. You recognise her?
Yeah.
Okay.
At that point, he was just a person who'd had a date with her the previous week. We didn't know when she'd disappeared exactly.
So that's Grace. She was 22 on the 2nd of December, just her birthday.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Yes. So we talked about that. Yes.
Okay.
He presented well, in the sense that he was wearing a three-piece suit with a hanky popping out of his collar, which is not something you ever really see in New Zealand.
So I was talking to Grace on Tinder.
Yeah.
We'd matched on Friday. I saw that we'd matched the next day on Saturday. I saw a message from her saying, hey. So I messaged back saying, hey, how are you? How's your day going? I got a reply, great, yeah, in travelling around New Zealand, blah, 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 blah. She was staying at Party Backpackers, and she told me that she was going to be spending her birthday out there the next day.
At the time that interview was taking place, we had an investigation team doing a lot of work, and one of the phases is the CCTV phase, which is critical in Auckland City.
I started on the investigation on day one. I was tasked straight away as the officer in charge of CCTV inquiries. Initially we just started watching from the Saturday afternoon. It was footage that needed to be reviewed minute by minute.
I said, I know it's quick, but do you want to catch up for a drink? And she said, yep, cool. She asked me where. I said Sky City. And then we met. I gave her a hug, she gave me a hug. And then we decided that we were going up to Andy's Burger Bar.
One of the really good things with the Sky City footage, it has a multitude of cameras, and effectively every area is covered. We can see how they're interacting with each other, and effectively, from a visual point of view, how the date appears to be going.
She said, I'm from Essex. I said, is that near Geordie Shore? I had no idea where that was. And she said, no, it's just out of London. I said, oh, cool, yeah, sweet.
Whose idea was it to go to that particular burger place?
Me, because I didn't initially know that she was real.
What do you mean?
Well, there's a lot of... So have you heard of catfish?
No.
So catfishing is where someone uses your profile, or uses your photos and pretends to be you, and then meets, and you're a completely different person.
Right.
And it's happened to a few people I know in Australia. And it's all over the TV. So I thought, you know what, if I meet at Sky City, at least I know that there's lots of people around. So if it is someone that it's not, then I can just walk away.
Throughout the interview, some of the things early on were a little bit odd, but some people are odd.
How does meeting in a public place sort of protect you from...
Well, there's security there. So if she wasn't who she said she was,
Yeah.
at least in my mind I'd feel safe.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. What did you tell her about yourself?
I just told her where my family were from. I told her what I did for work. And then that was it.
Mm-hmm.
I asked her if she's visiting Sydney, and she said she'd love to.
How did the evening pan out?
Yeah, pretty good.
How did the evening sort of come to an end?
There was a hug and a kiss on the cheek, and a thanks, nice meeting you.
So at this point, you guys are heading in the direction of Victoria Street.
Yeah, to the crossing. Yeah.
The crossing.
Yeah.
So you cross over, and then you've parted company at around about 8 p.m.
Yeah. That would have been the last place I saw her.
Okay. And you've parted company at around about 8 p.m. by
Yeah.
your account.
Yeah.
Where do you walk?
I go down Queen Street. There's a pub on Queen Street.
And how many drinks do you think you had in that place?
I would say 10.
10?
10.
Okay.
After that, I remember waking up the next day.
What time was that?
I woke up 9, 10 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay, mate. Look, just want to sit tight for a few minutes. I'll just have another quick chat. Okay. How are you off for water?
That's fine. Hey, I just want to ask a question. Have I been arrested for something I didn't do?
You've been arrested.
We got to a point where we knew during the interview enough CCTV had come through that actually pointed out that he'd been lying to us on one specific point.
As it turns out, Grace continued on with Jessie. They enter into one of the lifts at the CityLife Hotel and head up to level 3 where Jessie's apartment. This is the last sighting that we have of Grace.
Just after 3 p.m. this afternoon, a 26-year-old man was located at a central Auckland address by police and is currently speaking to us in relation to Grace Millane.
So you said that you met with Grace at the burger place?
Yep.
And you've parted company at around about 8 p.m. by your account?
Yep.
You said you woke up in your apartment at about 9 or 10 a.m.
Yep.
on Sunday morning?
Yep.
And you knew that was the time because you checked your phone?
Yep.
Is that you?
Yes.
That's you?
Yes.
Okay. That picture, the picture is in your hotel lift.
Yeah.
Okay, that's on Sunday morning at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. You haven't told the truth.
There's something you want to ask?
Now, we know he's a liar. He was very comfortable and plausible in his lies. And he's very believable, and as I say, he looked very professional. CCTV shows that she met him at Sky City, in Andy's Burger Bar. She goes with Kempson across to the Mexican cafe, then goes to a bar called the Bluestone Room, and then up into his apartment. But we didn't have any evidence that he had done anything to Grace. Yes, he had lied to us, but that's all we had, him telling us a lie. Because we don't have the evidence, the law in New Zealand isn't that we can detain someone for 48 hours. We either have sufficient evidence to charge them or we have to release them. So he was released. That Thursday night we arranged for a search warrant for his apartment at CityLife Hotel. The forensic scientists were going to test Kempson's apartment for blood. And they used a chemical called luminol, which they spray. Luminol will react with blood and it will glow in the dark. When you see the inside of Kempson's apartment and you see the luminol, which is indicating all the blood in that room, you go, oh my gosh, what's he done? The Google searches that Kempson did on his phone became important because it timed when those searches were. So we know that Around 1:30 a.m. he was searching for hottest fires, pornography. We also received more information that his phone had been polling out in the Waitakere Ranges on the Monday.
Tell me what happened last Saturday.
From the beginning.
Yeah.
We had one final drink at Andy's Burger Bar. And then we decided to go to the Mexican place across the road for cocktails. We went from there down to the Bluestone room. We ended up sitting out in the foyer area with the fresh air. Most of the time we were sitting there, we were just kissing. I remember leaving Bluestone. I don't know what time we left there exactly. The next thing I remember after that is being in the room with Grace. She started talking to me about 50 Shades of Grey, which is a sex fantasy movie. We started having, I guess, violent sex, and then she told me to hold her throat, and then at that point we'd finished. All I remember is falling asleep in the shower. I woke up the next day. Initially I thought Grace had left, and I saw that she was lying on the floor. I saw that she had blood coming from her nose. I screamed, I yelled out at her, and I tried to move her to see if she was awake, and that's when I panicked because I couldn't hear, and she was cold.
It's a total contradiction to what he'd said in his first interview. A narcissist, sociopath, and we'd worked out that everything he'd said in that first interview basically was a lie.
Did you consider seeking help from St John's?
I dialed 111, but I didn't hit the button because I was scared how bad it looked.
You said you didn't know what to do. Why did you purchase a suitcase?
Because I was freaking out. I went to the warehouse at the atrium and brought a suitcase. I remember putting Grace in the suitcase. I was just in shock the whole time. I put Grace in the back of a hire car. I drove the hire car into Wilson's car park. I sat there for a little while, praying. I picked up a shovel. I ended up driving towards the Waitakeres. I went into the bush. I dug a hole.
He's trying to clean up, and we know from CCTV that he went and he bought cleaning products.
What did you do with the bleach?
Sprayed the floor and tried to dab up the blood.
Can you remember when you disposed of her clothing and property?
No.
He packed all her belongings into a black plastic bag, and he walks through the city up to a place called Albert Park, and you see him depositing that black bag into a rubbish bin.
We're going to head out of here very, very soon, and you're going to take us to where you've buried her.
We located a body which we believe to be Grace. The formal identification process will now take place. However, based on the evidence we have gathered over the past few days, we expect that this is Grace. Obviously, this brings the search for Grace to an end. It is an unbearable time for the Millane family, and our hearts go out to them.
Two questions? Yep. To your knowledge, did Grace die while she was in your company?
To my knowledge, I would say yes.
And at any time and at any stage, did you intend to cause her death?
No.
Did you kill Grace Millane? Jesse Kempson, you're under arrest for the murder of Grace Millane on or about the 2nd of December. You understand?
Yep.
Okay.
And what we know is that Kempson strangled Grace for 7 to 10 minutes. That's not rough sex. That's murder.
The trial of the man accused of murdering the British backpacker Grace Millane has begun. Ms Millane went missing on the eve of her 22nd birthday last December while she was in New Zealand. Her disappearance sparked a massive police investigation, and her body was found buried in the Waitakere Ranges a week later.
The man's defence team said it was entirely plausible the young woman accidentally died after he choked her during sex with her consent and encouragement.
Members of the jury, and the defendant has pleaded not guilty.
She started talking to me about 50 Shades of Grey, and she told me that there's a few things she likes doing.
Miss Millane died as a result of what they consensually engaged in during their time together.
The defendant had to have had her under his grip at some point of which she lost consciousness and he had to carry on. And if that's not reckless murder in this country, ladies and gentlemen, somebody will have to explain to me what is.
Next morning, 8 a.m, Jessie heads down to the foyer and exits the hotel and heads to the warehouse store, selecting a suitcase that he ends up putting Grace in. I remember the chill that went through my body when I saw him look up at the camera, and you could just tell he had killed her. And was taking her body out to disposing of it. And then he gets up early the next morning to head out to bury her.
Cool, calm, and in control. Where's the evidence of panic?
Miss Millane's lifeless body was with you in that room when you searched for and accessed 4 pornographic sites. These were not the actions of a man in panic, far from it. Your actions reveal a complete disregard for your victim.
The trial lasted about 3 weeks.
The jury went out on the Friday afternoon. I suppose within an hour or so, the jury came back with their verdict.
Do you find the defendant guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
And are you all agreed members of the jury? Yes. Thank you, Madam Foreman. Please listen to it.
If you would. this jury having found you guilty of the murder of Grace Emmy Rose Millane, you are convicted.
Out of this tragedy, the Millane family have started the Love Grace campaign. That's getting handbags and then filling them with items for the victims of domestic violence.